Happy Spalloween, everybody. It is Cassie Sampson here, owner of East Village Spa, and Kelly Parker, our spa director, is behind the camera, as always. We are so sad that we can't welcome our guests in person to the spa to celebrate Spalloween, but thank you so much for tuning into our virtual party, where in just a moment, I'll be interviewing Mindy Callison and visiting with some of the Bailing Out Benji volunteers and the doggy ambassadors, so you can learn more about Bailing Out Benji, see your favorite pups that are here every year, and meet a cute new dog. And if you are so moved, which I hope you are, please visit our album on the Facebook page to bid on the silent auction. Because Bailing Out Benji wasn't able to have their biggest fundraiser of the year, the Bark After Dark Gala, we have the best items we've ever had, including a cast photo that is signed from the Schitt's Creek cast. We have a Kevin Malone from The Office spilling the chili Funko that is signed by the actor. We've got some of these cute packages, a cute Jessica Moore purse set with coordinating nail polish. We've got this little watermelon themed set. And one of my personal favorites is this really cute, it's a set that I love and your dog will hate, so chocolate that your dog shouldn't have, cozy things for you, and this really cute Christmas reindeer sweater for your pop. So we've also got custom jewelry, we'll have a photography package from Brandy Weber and more. So stay tuned. After our interview, we'll tell you a little bit more about how you can support Bailing Out Benji. But again, thank you so much. Well, we wish you were here live at East Village Spa, where we could serve you food and drinks and have our huge party. We are so glad you're joining us virtually. See you in a minute. Hi, everybody. Happy Spalloween. I'm Cassie. I'm the owner of East Village Spa and the founder of Spalloween, which is a fundraiser for our friends at Bailing Out Benji. And this is my rescue pup, Blanche Devereux. And I'd like to introduce you to some of my friends from Bailing Out Benji, starting with Mindy Callison.
Hi everyone. If you come to the annual Spalloween event every year, you'll probably have recognized me, but my name is Mindy Callison and I'm the founder and executive director of Bailing Out Benji.
And Ashley Steen.
Hey everyone, as Cassie said, I'm Ashley Steen, and with me are my two very sleepy pups, Ruby and Iris. They're in about hour 18 of their sleep for the day. I've been a volunteer with Bailing Out Benji for a few years now. I adopted Ruby and Iris 4 years ago, and the shelter told me they were from a puppy mill. They'd spent 4 years as breeding dogs, so I did a little Googling as to what a puppy mill was and found Bailing Out Benji, and then took them to their first vet appointment, and one of Bailing Out Benji's volunteers had actually put a flyer up. So I reached out to Mindy. I was living in Nebraska at the time, but started to get clued into what they were doing in Iowa, where my family lived. So I sent my parents to the Capitol to lobby against puppy mills with Mindy. And then a lot of the other events they were part of. And then when I moved back to Iowa almost 3 years ago, that's when I really started volunteering and doing a lot with our Des Moines team.
And Kristen Schubert.
Hi, I'm Kristen. I am a volunteer on the Wisconsin team with Bailing Out Benji. And this is Lamb Chop. Lamb Chop actually is a local celebrity. She was in People magazine a couple weeks ago as the world's cutest rescue dog. I adopted Lamb Chop in 2014. She came from a puppy mill in northern Wisconsin. And she's the main reason why I started volunteering with Bailing Out Benji. I had researched about puppy mills after adopting her, and also saw that my mall had opened up a kiosk where they were adopting out dogs for $3,000. And so I reached out to Bailing Out Benji, and they were able to close them down due to inappropriate licensing, and realized I wanted to be a part of the organization after that.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us. Spalloween is East Village Spa's annual party. It's our biggest event of the year. And we're always thrilled to raise money for Bailing Out Benji. And tonight you're going to hear more about that. So we've pre-recorded this, but it's airing on October 22nd, which was supposed to be our live Spalloween event. But as it would be, October 22nd is actually a holiday, Make a Dog's Day. So the best way that you can make a dog's day and make the life for a lot of dogs is to end puppy mills. It's a really heavy topic, but I promise we'll have fun during this little virtual party tonight. So grab a drink, grab snacks, and please ask questions in the comments. We're tuning in. We're here to answer your questions about anything we talk about or puppy mills. We've got just some of the foremost experts in the nation on puppy mills right here. So let's start with Mindy. Tell us how you started bailing out Benji and what it is that you do.
So actually, I started bailing out Benji because I was one of those customers that supported the puppy mill industry. I had never heard the term puppy mill. I didn't like to be sad like a lot of people, especially in this, pandemic era world. We get hit with a lot of news all the time. And so when I was younger, I would always turn the station when I heard this, sad commercials, the Sarah McLachlan songs that we always hear on those commercials. And so I had never even heard the term puppy mill. And one day I was a homesick college student and I went to my local Petland to play with the puppies. I had no intention of buying a puppy because I was, a full-time student. I was in a lot of extracurricular activities and I had no business owning a dog at that time at 19 years old. But there I was inside of a pet store and, they're trained to put a puppy in your hand because as consumers, we typically buy whatever we have our hands on. If you put something in your cart, you buy it. If you are test driving a car, you typically buy it. And it's the same with puppies. So they put me in a little room and let me play with this little puppy. And of course, he was a Siberian Husky. So again, I had no business owning a very, very high energy dog. But when I was done playing with them, I told them I was going to go and they, gave me the guilt trip, but you're his mommy. He loves you. You need him. Well, I couldn't afford the $1,500 sticker price on that dog. And so they offered me a credit card. And that credit card had a 30% interest rate. And of course, on top of buying the puppy, you have to buy the kennel and the treats and the toys and everything, associated with owning a dog. And it was about 2 weeks later when our local news, Channel 13, did an expose on that pet land and how it was owned by a puppy mill owner. So my dog was born in one of the worst puppy mills in Iowa. And shortly after I graduated college and went to Ames, Iowa, I, ran into a local pet store that was selling puppies and I knew I had to do something. So,
and Mindy, with your, I like that with your story, you say that you yourself did kind of fall victim to one of these puppy mills, dogs that, through them were working through the pet stores. But for people who don't know and who haven't met you, what is a puppy mill?
So a puppy mill is a facility that has dozens of adult breeding dogs to hundreds of adult breeding dogs. And these poor animals never get out of a cage. According to the USDA, these dogs only are required to have 6 inches of extra space around their bodies. So as you can see Ruby and Iris, and you can see Lamb Chop over there, dogs that size, legally according to the USDA, could live in a cage the size of an oven or even a microwave, in probably Lamb Chop's case. So as long as these adult breeding dogs can stand up, turn around, and lay down, that is the size the USDA says is okay. And on top of that, these adult breeding dogs don't receive good vet care, they don't receive healthy food, and sometimes they're not even given clean water. So this is a facility that provides the absolute bare minimum for the breeding dogs. And I keep saying the adult breeding dogs because so much of the public is concerned about the puppies and they want the puppies to have forever homes. And they think that if you buy a puppy in a pet store or online, you're saving that puppy from a puppy mill. But unfortunately, it's just condemning the parents to a life of cruelty.
So when we look at these places and they're rampant in Iowa, Iowa's terrible, right?
Yes. Yes.
And we look at, we had chatted before about like, do we have a breed? And for the people watching at home, I'd like you to chime in too, just to see what dog breed is your breed, and Mindy, do you have a breed that you're kind of loyal to, and why?
Yeah, so my husband and I actually rescue senior black dogs. So we typically love the black lab mixes. big dogs. They're welcome in our home. We're not, we love small dogs too, but we just love the really, really big ones.
And then, so opposite, Kristen, tell me, do you have a type?
Yeah, my type is any dog that's a small dog. I think the idea of having a big dog is really great, but my heart's really with the tiny guys. So yeah.
Ashley, what about you?
So I love Cavalier King Charles Spaniels, and they do this pretty much all day long. I always joke that when we first rescued them, everyone says you'll be so much healthier when you get a dog, but I gained about 15 pounds because all they wanted to do was lay on the couch. With that being said, though, they get a lot of attention when we go places because they're so cute and sweet. I always talk about how they're rescues. I never really wanted to own a purebred dog. It's how it ended up because there's so many amazing rescue mixed breeds out there as well. So I think honestly, rescued is my favorite breed.
Yeah, I'm with Ashley. I have a big soft spot for Basset Hounds and Blanche Devereaux, who only wants to sit on my lap. She's with her favorite human, and she's a Basset mix, but Bassets are my breed. But the reason I ask this, and I'm really excited to read in the comments if people have a breed, is you can adopt. You know, if you are into breed specific, there's a lot of great rescues out there for different breeds and mixed breeds for those of us who just, you know, love rescued. But Mindy, how would people know that a puppy they're getting is from a puppy mill?
So puppy mills are incredibly easy to find. If you're interested in looking for a dog, Google Siberian Huskies in Iowa. King Charles Cavaliers for sale. The first websites that pop up online will be puppy mill websites because they're the ones that have the highest traffic and they're the ones that are selling the most puppies. And so, first of all, we always say, if you're looking to buy a dog, please do not buy in a pet store because those parents are left behind back at the puppy mill. And do not buy online, especially if you're not meeting the parents. So first and foremost, we always talk about adoption first. We wish everybody would adopt their next, best friend. And so like you said, Cassie, you can go on petfinder.com and you can find a whole list of breed-specific rescues for any breed of dog. Ashley has King Charles Cavaliers, and there's a wonderful Cavalier rescue, right, that has fosters in Iowa and in Missouri and, right here in the Midwest. If you want a Siberian Husky, there is a breed-specific rescue right in the Omaha area. Bassets and Beagles, Cassie, you have experiences with that.
Basset and Beagle of the Heartland Rescue.
Exactly. So the first thing you can always do is, I call it window adopting, and I just troll petfinder.com and I look for all of the cutest dogs. And so they're coming from rescues and shelters. But if you're insisting on buying a dog, there are responsible breeders out there, and there are responsible breeders right here in the Des Moines area. When you're looking to buying from one of them, they will have just as many questions for you as you should have for them. So they'll want to know that you're a good family, their puppy is going to a good home. For those of us that have fostered dogs or even fostered litters of puppies through rescue, you know that every dog that comes into your home is a part of your family, and responsible breeders are the same way. They want to make sure it's a forever fit, and they want to make sure that the family getting the dog is going to love them. So if you're going to buy, always make sure to meet the parents in person, go to the house, go to the facility, and make sure that you're supporting a good, responsible breeder. And if it's a sad place, if it's a bad place, run away. Don't buy a puppy because you feel bad for the puppy, because again, you're just leaving the parents behind.
Great. And then in just a moment, Ashley, I'm going to ask you about the story you were sharing earlier about the King Charles Cavaliers. But I need to mention that this is a fundraiser for Bailing Out Benji and their organization. So to raise funds all week, we've had an amazing silent auction. We even have a signed picture from the Schitt's Creek cast. So it's like good stuff. So go to the East Village Spa Facebook page. We have an album. Our auctioneer extraordinaire, Kelly Parker, always does such a great job, our spa director. So Kelly is manning this. If you have questions about any of the items, you can ask and Kelly will answer. But bid before noon on Saturday when the auction closes. So the other way that you can support Mindy is to donate on their website at bailingoutbenji.com, and you can learn a lot there. But so veering to a heavier topic, Ashley, you had just shared, and I think it's really important for people to hear stories like that. Go ahead and share with us.
Yes. So, obviously, I'm very passionate about Cavalier King Charles Spaniels. Ruby and Iris have their own Instagram. It's at Ruby and Iris. That's why they're snoozing right now, because they're, I guess, used to a lot of publicity, like Lamb Chop.
Their influence.
Yeah, I did see just last week there was 30 Cavaliers rescued from a hoarding situation, and they were just, instead of rescuing them, they were just giving them away online to the first available bidders who came in, and would not surrender them to a rescue. So a lot of dogs with a lot of severe medical and emotional issues were going to be thrown into families' hands who probably weren't prepared to handle them. And that's why it is so important that, you know, you're equipped to take whatever dog you do rescue as well. I know the shelter, the wonderful shelter that I got Ruby and Iris from in Nebraska, no longer posts on their Facebook page when they have Cavaliers in the shelter, because they're so popular. Ruby and Iris were in the shelter for about 3 months and had dozens of families come to visit them, but they were not the dogs that you see here. They were just terrified. They had never left their cages, and needed a lot of rehabilitation, which was something I don't know if I thought I was prepared for, but it's just been the best thing I've ever done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Ruby and Iris were sisters in the puppy mill, right?
Yes. So we saw them on Pet Finder, and my husband and I went, typical thing, to try to see which one of them would be the best fit for our home. And just like they are now, they were just snuggled. They had, I don't know the situation if they were in the same cage or different cages, but their breeder had surrendered them when their bodies finally stopped producing puppies. So it was very clear that they needed to stay together. And even now, 4 years later, if I were to move one of them to another room, one would cry until they were reunited.
Oh, and so you can follow at Ruby and Iris on Twitter, or not Twitter, I'm sorry, Instagram. But speaking of influencer dogs, Kristen, will you tell us a little more about how the cover, or how the people and all the publicity that you're getting with Lamb Chop?
Pretty crazy. So with COVID, you know, I was thinking of outside the box ways that we could potentially educate people on puppy mills, especially in our area. And Milwaukee Magazine had a competition for cutest rescue dog. And I thought, I'll enter her and maybe we can educate a few people on her story. And sure enough, I got an email that she made top 5. And then a few days later, she was the winner, and we were in my backyard doing a photo shoot. So then it wasn't like a few weeks later, I'm watching Good Morning America, and they have another world's cutest rescue dog. And I thought, well, if she won Milwaukee, maybe she's cute enough to win the world's cutest rescue dog. So on a fluke, I entered her again. And sure enough, here's her Milwaukee Magazine issue where she was featured. And that was Milwaukee. And then just a few weeks ago, the issue with Bon Jovi, she is featured in there. So we were able to tell people about, you know, Lamb Chop's story, how she came from a puppy mill and was repeatedly bred. She had quite a few medical problems when I adopted her, and still is kind of fighting some genetic issues with tumors. But yeah, that's her story. And she also just got an Instagram as well. It's Lamb Chop, the Puppy Mill Rescue on Instagram. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm so glad that your dogs are helping to spread awareness. And then Mindy, I have to mention again, because Kristen brought up a good point of needing to raise awareness during COVID. You weren't able to hold your big fundraiser, the Bark After Dark Gala, because like so many organizations, fundraisers are canceled, times are hard. You've had extra strain providing pet food to families to help keep pets with people. So it's really important to support Bailing Out Benji right now. And you can do that with a donation. I feel like this is a telethon. You can do that with a donation to bailingoutbenji.com. You also can purchase or bid on one of many really great auction items through the East Village Spa Facebook page album. We've got spa packages. We've got that signed Schitt's Creek print. We've got just so many cool things that Kelly has put together. So do that. These are all ways you can support Bailing Out Benji since they weren't able to have their big fundraising event. And when you go to donate on the website, also check out all the great things. Mindy, what are things people can find on your site?
So one of the things that we're most known for is our puppy mill maps. No matter where in the country you are, you can go on our website and find out what puppy mills are lurking in your backyard. As a companion piece to that, we also have our interactive website with a search engine. So if you're really interested in knowing what puppy selling stores are in your state or what puppy mills are in your state, you can go to our website, bailingoutbenji.com or maps.bailingoutbenji.com, and you can see all of that information. We're also very infamous for connecting pet stores across the country with the puppy mills that they sell to, or buy from, excuse me. So we don't just say puppy mills are bad, and we don't just say pet store puppies come from puppy mills, we prove it. So our website's a wealth of knowledge, and if you want to spend a few hours learning about the puppy mill industry, just head over to our website and start clicking away.
And one thing that I tell everyone about when I talk about you, Mindy, is I think, you know, rescues are great and rescues do great work, but Bailing Out Benji isn't a rescue. You really do this investigative work and undercover, and you've been instrumental in lawsuits. Like it's so tough and hardcore. And tell about some of, like, your research has been used in really big cases.
Yeah, so we're kind of more of a watchdog group, I would say. We have a knack for going through documents, government health records, inspection reports, everything like that with a really, really fine-tooth comb. And we trace where all of the puppies are moving across the country. So because of that, we were able to expose this nationwide puppy laundering scheme where a few puppy mills here, well, one puppy mill here in Iowa decided to get their rescue license for 2 different fake rescues and get a nonprofit status for one of those fake rescues. And what they were doing was selling puppies to pet stores where it was illegal for the pet stores to sell puppy mill puppies. And instead of them being commercially bred puppies, these fake rescues were set up to launder commercially bred puppies and then label them as rescue. So it became this huge ordeal. We noticed it was happening in Chicago, in California, and in a few other states. And so when we started digging into it and researching it, the Iowa Attorney General actually referred to our website, referred to our research, and started investigating. And then they had a lawsuit against that puppy mill organization here in Iowa and their 2 fake rescues. And they ordered the fake rescues to be shut down earlier this year due to charity fraud.
That's amazing. And literally, I would, without knowing you and Bailing Out Benji, I would have no idea about any of these things. So I think that's fantastic. Now, before we go on to maybe some of the fun things, we've got some trivia for everybody, including my Spalloween guests today. And you are encouraged to play along in the comments. We've got some Bailing Out Benji gifts for anyone who's commenting while we're having this little party here. So Mindy will draw for 5 people who've made any comment during our party, because we're just so happy that you've joined us for virtual Spalloween. But we'll include you in our trivia here. So none of our guests have seen the questions yet. Thanks to my employees for helping me write these. We had a good time. All right, ready? And these are not fact checked. So I'm here reading these like it's dog trivia questions to like actual experts. So it's fine if my
I just have to tell you, Ashley gets very competitive with trivia. So
I believe this. Okay, but Ashley, give the people at home a chance.
Ashley, if you haven't seen, in the silent auction, we also have a Kevin Funko where he's spilling the chili, and it's signed by Brian Baumgartner.
Oh, so I didn't know that.
I'm gonna
From
did
The Office.
Yes, from The Office. She's very into The Office.
We did some Benji volunteers at a trivia night, and we did win first place, but I didn't let anyone else answer, and my husband pointed out that I didn't sit down on my chair the whole night. So I'll try to take it easy.
Okay. Well, there's no prize for us for this. So if you know it, Ashley, how about you raise your hand enthusiastically and then we'll share. Okay.
Wait, can we mute her? Let's just get ahead of this. I mean, I saw that debate. I think we need to mute her ahead of time.
Oh, like all these pups are being so sweet too. Look at that. Oh, Lamb Chop and Ruby and Iris. They're over it.
Yeah.
I feel like Lamb Chop is, I don't know. And Lamb Chop's had a lot of cheese during this party. Okay, ready? Okay, we've got 10 questions. Question 1. At 45 miles per hour, this breed is the fastest. Raise your hand if you know it.
I'm guessing, but
Ashley,
Okay.
do you want to go first?
Greyhound.
It is the Greyhound.
yeah.
Okay. I'm
Can
not.
can I chime in with a fact?
Yeah, please, Mindy. Any of you interrupt with facts?
So Greyhound breeding is actually pretty unregulated. I mean, it's regulated, but they are not, their records aren't easily accessible like other commercial breeders. So here in the state of Iowa, I can go on the website and look up any breeder, whether they're local or federal, and look at their inspection reports. But the Greyhound industry is actually very secretive because it's tied to racing and gambling.
I did not know that. All right, thank you. Chime in anytime with your, if you know everything about this. So I hope you guys are taking advantage in the comments here and asking while you're watching this. Okay, I feel like I'm the oldest one here, but you might not know this. Bud Light beer was repped by this dog in the 80s. The name of the dog and the breed. Bud Light beer, and answer from home, who's the dog that repped it in the 80s?
Oh, I know it. I know it.
Okay, Kristen, we'll let you.
It was Spud McKenzie, right?
Yep, do you know what he was?
Gosh, he was a bully breed.
Yep, the bull
Bull
terrier.
terrier.
Yes. All right, Mindy, you don't get to answer this one. Bailing Out Benji, this is number 3. Bailing Out Benji is featured in a Netflix documentary. What is it called? And I'm guessing not a lot of you watching from home know this, but you're about to know and you're going to need to go watch it. Kristen.
It's Dog by Dog, which is where I first saw Mindy. And I actually supported that film too. So
That's awesome.
Oh, thank you.
So watch Dog by Dog, donate to Bailing Out Benji.
I'll add something about that.
Yeah.
So a lot of people will be pleasantly surprised to know that Dog by Dog is not graphic. It's very educational, and that's honestly the number one reason why I keep volunteering with Bailing Out Benji is there is no shame. You know, we have a lot of families come up to us at events and kind of sheepishly say, "Oh, I think I got my dog from Puppy Mill." You know what? I was looking at websites that would have shipped me a Cavalier before I found Ruby and Iris, and I think you know, all of the material we have is very family friendly, very positive. I've never left an event feeling anything other than super happy. And it's the same thing with Dog by Dog.
That's really good to know, because I won't lie, Mindy, I love you. I haven't watched it because I was afraid to. So
Yeah.
thanks, Ashley.
Like Ashley said, it's not graphic. It really follows the money that keeps Puppy Mills in business. And
Okay.
it's not on Netflix anymore.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but you can get it on Amazon Prime or on YouTube. You can rent it both places.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Number 4, which band recorded a dog whistle into their song A Day in the Life so that dogs would sing along?
Anyone in the comments know?
Yeah, hopefully someone in the I didn't know. This came from my employees and are Googling. Okay, what do you think, Mindy?
The Beatles?
Yeah. Did you
I
know
love
that
the
before?
Beatles. Well, you said A Day in the Life, and I love the Beatles, but I didn't know there was a dog whistle.
Will
So I
you
was really
try
thrown
it?
off by that. Yes, I will
Well,
try it
obviously
later.
you can't hear it.
Yeah, no, I've
I want to know.
never.
I need you to film you playing it for your dogs.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Number 5. In which state outside of Iowa did Bailing Out Benji have their first volunteer team?
I have a guess.
Let's hear it, because I bet the people in the comments don't know unless they're like bailing out Benji volunteers. Go for it, Ashley.
I'm gonna guess Nebraska.
I would Texas.
Yep, it's Texas.
Actually, our Texas team leader hosted a screening of Dog by Dog. She didn't volunteer for us, didn't know anything about bailing out Benji, but brought the movie to Texas and then decided she wanted to be a part of our team. So she had to convince me very strongly to trust to have another state, you know, with bailing out Benji. But yeah, Texas was the first state.
That's awesome. Okay, what breed of dog was Toto from Wizard of Oz? All right, we'll give the people in the comments a minute. Okay, Mindy?
Karen Terrier.
Yes. Yes. All right. Oh, I forgot to write the answer to this down. I hope one of you guys knows it. Name the dog. I might have to look it up. Name the dog and the breed of the dog that starred in Independence Day. Oh, I found it. Just stumped myself. The breed and the dog from the Independence Day movie.
I remember the movie. I don't remember the dog.
Yeah, I don't remember there being a dog.
I didn't either. It's not a movie that's like one I watch a lot. I'll be honest. Okay, hopefully someone in the comments knew. It is Frank the Pug, starred in Independence Day.
Do you mean Men in Black?
I think Men in Black had.
Oh my gosh, you guys!
I totally would have gotten that.
I actually typed Independence Day. They're both aliens, right?
Yeah, and Will Smith is in both of them, right?
No, I don't think that's real.
Right?
I don't know.
I
My
think he
husband is
is.
in the next room, and I honestly don't know how he's not like. I'm sure he's rolling his eyes at me right now. But yeah. Anyway, now that I think about it, I remember the difference. And having like a quirky pug named Frank doesn't seem like it would be on brand for Independence Day. So for those of you playing along at home, if anyone guessed Independence Day, like we're friends, but it was Men in Black. Okay, cool. So moving on, 8. The Bailing Out Benji team have been recurring guests on which Animal Planet show?
I think we all know this one.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and spill it, all of you.
Amanda's to the rescue.
Yeah. Amanda to the rescue.
Amanda to the rescue. Which episode? So for the people who are watching along with us, which episodes can they watch and see you, Mindy?
So the first episode, or first season, was called From Crates to Couches, I think. I'm not sure what number. And then the second episode, it was very early on, or the second season, excuse me, it was very early on. But we were in 2 episodes with a crossover with Tia Torres with Pit Bulls and Parolees.
That's awesome.
So I don't remember what that was called. It was the road trip episodes.
So that's a great show. If you're like, if you've already watched everything that's on TV because of COVID, like go watch those shows on Animal Planet. And then go support Bailing Out Benji and bid on our auction items and go to their website. Okay, 2 more questions. Hope I have all of these movies right. The English Mastiff, Hercules, aka the Beast, terrified kids and hoarded baseballs in which movie? Okay, go ahead, Mindy.
Sandlot.
Yeah, The Sandlot. I got the right baseball movie. The Sandlot. Okay. My last question for you, and I hope my answer is right here, but you all can elaborate. While it varies based on the breed, what is the overall average number of puppies in a litter? Is it A, 1 to 2, B, 3 to 4, C, 5 to 6, or D, 7 to 8? Mindy?
It depends on the breed, but I would guess 5 to 6.
That's what a lot of sources on the internet said, but I figured you'd be the expert, which means there are a lot of puppies coming
Yeah.
out of puppy mills.
Yeah, so smaller breed dogs like Lamb Chop and Ruby and Iris would probably only have a litter of like 3 to 5, where Frenchies and Pugs often only have 1 or 2 puppies, but then Labs and Huskies can have upwards of 10,
Oh my gosh.
if not more. Yeah, there have been some crazy huge litters, but the larger breed dogs have a lot of puppies.
And for a dog in a puppy mill, how many puppies, like how many litters are they having?
So my puppy mill survivor, she's sleeping on the couch right now. We rescued her when she was 18 months old. So she was already a baby. She had had 3 litters of puppies by 18 months old. So in puppy mills, they start breeding them during their first heat cycle, which is often 5 or 6 months old. And female dogs can have 2 litters a year. So poor Lola was having litters of 10 puppies, approximately 10 puppies, and she had 3 litters. So before she was even 2 years old, she had had 30 puppies in her life.
That's
So Ruby, you can tell, has, you can feel it if you pet her. You can tell she has a broken rib. I think she probably broke a rib delivering one of her litters. And Iris has her dew claws removed and Ruby does not. So our best guess is that the breeder was going to sell her, but then she has very severe luxating patellas, which is genetic. And so neither Iris nor Ruby nor their sibling should have ever been bred, but they wanted to make money and people, would buy the dogs. So we just spent a lot of money getting her knees fixed. And this is probably sounds weird, but it kind of makes me feel vindicated to think of maybe I'm spending as much money on these dogs, hopefully more than what they made their breeder, because it was profit over their health for a long time.
Mhm.
She's just smiling behind you.
I know. It's so sweet to see her all alert. It's so hard not having Halloween live and seeing Ruby and Iris in their stroller, as our guests have gotten used to the last several years. But I'm really thankful to our special guests who were able to tune in virtually, to everybody in the comments. If you are not watching this with us live, go ahead and still comment, and we'll tune in. If you have questions, you can reach out to Bailing Out Benji. Mindy can get you answers to what you're looking for. Go to their website and see. Like Ashley said, it's okay for the family. It's safe. It's a lot of information. It is. If you know anybody who's interested in investigative reporting, send them their way. It's really cool. But thank you for tuning in. Please go bid on our auction that closes on Saturday. I forgot to mention, we have, just for fun, a dog costume contest going on the spa right now. So you can go vote for the winner and they'll get a prize. So if you're having a grumpy day or like to look at pictures of dogs and cute costumes, go and vote for your favorite costume. But everybody, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Let's end puppy mills to celebrate Naked Dogs Day. And we will see you next year in person for Spalloween. Any closing thoughts, Mindy?
My closing thought is that Lamb Chop is going to win the costume contest, and then she's going to be on the cover of Des Moines Register, and we just can never get away from her.
And then it'll be a scandal. It'll be like, this out-of-state dog came.
She came in here she didn't even have papers. She came in. But no, in all seriousness, please follow Bailing Out Benji on Facebook and on Instagram. Follow Lamb Chop. Follow Ruby and Iris. There are a lot of amazing dogs out there that are using their freedom to make a huge difference. So those girls are wonderful, and their pages are very uplifting, and I love following them.
Well, thank you so much, Kristen, Ashley, and Mindy, and everybody who was watching at home with us. I hope you had a nice evening and learned a lot about puppy mills. Everybody have a happy Spalloween. Thanks all.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you again for joining East Village Spa's annual Spalloween party and tuning in virtually. If you didn't get a chance to comment or ask questions of Mindy or any of the volunteers, please feel free. We'll be checking in. Mindy is such an amazing expert. We're so lucky to have her in Ames, Iowa. And so definitely comment. We'll be drawing a winner 5 winners from the comments for Bailing Out Benji goodies, and a few more of those great auction items if you just visit our album at the East Village Spa Facebook. We've got a little Halloween themed cooking package. We've got a, I'm calling it the pumpkin spice latte package with a pumpkin mask and a mug and a little pumpkin spice latte. We've got the Don't Whine About It package with the doggy rosé and some of our wine flavored lip goodies. A lot of really cool artwork that you can bid on. So most of these items we can ship. Again, custom jewelry that supports Bailing Out Benji and their cause, and jewelry from Morphew Designs that we carry here. So please support them, bid online. We hope that we can help fill the gap from them not being able to have their big gala this year. And we are so excited to host you back for Spalloween at East Village Spa next year. Learn more at bailingoutbenji.com and check us out on Facebook. The bidding ends Saturday at noon.